How are we doing? It's Dan here, Kent Boot Camps. Hope you had a great weekend. Right, today we're going to be talking about carbohydrates. What are good carbohydrates to eat? How much should I eat? And when should I be eating them? Those three things, it's important. Carbs have been given a bad press. A lot of people this time of year are off carbs and they're not really sure what they are. What is carbs? And they're not sure when to eat them, how much to eat them. Oh, and when they don't eat them, they're feeling tired and lethargic. So I just wanted to give you some information about how to fill you in on the type of carbohydrates you should eat and when you should eat them. So generally speaking, there are three types in a very broad sense of carbohydrates. You have your non-starch carbohydrates, so low in sugar, doesn't affect the sugar levels, doesn't affect the insulin release in our bodies a huge amount, stays in our system for longer, less likely for our body to convert the sugar when there's too much of it in our system into body fat. So examples of non-starchy carbohydrates are leafy vegetables, things like spinach, things like kale, things like broccoli, cauliflower, any relations of those leafy vegetables, tomatoes, peppers, courgettes, leeks. These are all good carbohydrate, non-starchy carbohydrates that we should be eating at breakfast, at lunch and at dinner. Quantity wise, 2 fist proportions for a bloke, 1 fist for a lady. Okay? So most of your carbohydrate sugar content should come from vegetables. Okay? Pretty simple. Now, starchy vegetables, which are vegetables that convert to sugar much more quickly, affect our insulin much higher, and are more likely to store as body fat, are not bad, but there are good times to eat them. Examples of starchy carbohydrates are things like squash, or any root vegetable, potato, sweet potato, yam, carrots, parsnips. They're all types of sweet, starchy veg. Now, if you're going to eat those, there's one rule you must remember. You've got to earn them. Now, by earning them, I mean you've got to exercise intensely, and then the best time to consume those is post-exercise. You've got a window of 1 to 3 hours, ideally within an hour, when the body is much more open to sugar and the insulin, you're not so sensitive to insulin. And that's a good time if you're going to eat carbohydrates and you like things like oats, you like whole grains, you like pastas and bagels and that type of thing. You can eat them, but just make sure you eat them after exercise. Got that? Now, the third type of carbohydrate is refined carbohydrate. So what we got in here? Jams, honey, dare I say it, chocolate. Now, you can eat them, they're not bad, but you probably want to eat them very infrequently. And if you're trying to lose body fat, hardly at all. So let's run back that again. The best type of carbohydrates are your leafy vegetables. You need to eat them every breakfast, lunch and dinner. 2 fists for blokes, 1 fist for women. Starchy vegetables, they're not bad, but you need to earn them, work for it, exercise. And it's got to be intense exercise. I'm not talking about, walking up to the shop to get a paper. We're talking about boot camp, burpees, exercise, jumping, sprinting. 1 to 3 hours after exercise, eat your starchy carbohydrates. In fact, it will probably help recovery. Refined carbohydrates, very sugary. Avoid if we're trying to lose weight. But now and again, it's okay. So there we go. Some examples of carbohydrates. Carbohydrate is just anything that comes from a plant. Okay, think of it like that. It's very simple. So let me know how you get on with that. Stick to those rules. Vegetables most of the time, starchy after exercise, refined rarely, and you'll do fine. Okay, I'll see you at boot camp. Take care.